You know that feeling, don't you? You're sound asleep, drifting peacefully. And then suddenly, your eyes pop open. You look at the clock and see those dreaded numbers. 3 something a.m. Your mind starts whirring, maybe listing everything you need to do tomorrow, maybe replaying something from yesterday. And try as you might, sleep just won't come back. You toss and turn, feeling that familiar frustration build, knowing the rest of the night is going to be a struggle, and the next day will be a tired haze. It feels like a frustrating club you didn't ask to join, doesn't it? And you might just sigh and think, well, this is just what happens as you get older, I guess. Wait, but what if I told you that the real reasons you're waking up at that exact time aren't just about your age? What if there are specific things happening in your body and your routine that are triggering this wake-up call? Things that you might not even be aware of. The truth about why this keeps happening might actually surprise you. And the good news is, it's often connected to factors that are more within your control than you think. In this video, we're going to look at some of the surprising culprits behind that 3 a.m. wake-up call. And more importantly, simple, practical steps you can take to quiet that early morning wakefulness and get back to the restful sleep you deserve. Stay with me until the very end, because I'm going to share something that could truly be a game changer and might just shock you with its simplicity and effectiveness. Now, let's dive into the first potential reason you might be finding yourself wide awake in the dead of night. It's something fundamental to how your body functions, and it has a powerful, often overlooked, connection to your sleep cycles. I'm talking about your blood sugar. Yes, how your body manages sugar and energy throughout the day, and especially overnight, can be a major player in that unwanted 3 a.m. wake-up call. Think about it like this. Your body needs a steady supply of fuel to keep everything running smoothly. Even while you're asleep, if your blood sugar levels become unstable, particularly if they drop too low overnight, your body sees this as a bit of an emergency. It triggers the release of stress hormones, like adrenaline and cortisol, to try and raise your blood sugar back up. And what do these hormones do? They make you feel alert, maybe even a little anxious, and they absolutely can jolt you wide awake. So, if you're waking up with a racing heart, feeling a bit edgy, or even just suddenly alert at that time, it could be your body's emergency response to a blood sugar dip. What causes this blood sugar roller coaster that peaks with a dip in the middle of the night? Well, it often starts with what and when you eat, especially in the evening. If your dinner is heavy on refined carbohydrates or sugar, like white pasta, white bread, sugary desserts, or even a large amount of fruit juice without balancing it with protein and fat, your blood sugar can spike quickly. Your body then produces a surge of insulin to bring it back down. This can lead to a crash several hours later, right around that 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. window, triggering that stress hormone release and waking you up. Similarly, skipping dinner entirely, or eating a very light dinner that doesn't provide sustained energy, can also lead to blood sugar levels dropping too low overnight. Another factor is snacking patterns. If you have a sugary snack close to bedtime, you're setting yourself up for that spike and subsequent crash later in the night. So, what can you do about this? The goal is to create more stable blood sugar levels throughout the day and especially overnight. It starts with focusing on balanced meals. Make sure your dinner includes a good source of protein like chicken, fish, beans, or lentils, healthy fats like avocado, olive oil, nuts, or seeds, and complex carbohydrates like vegetables, whole grains like quinoa or brown rice, or legumes. This combination digests more slowly and provides a steadier release of glucose into your bloodstream, preventing those dramatic spikes and dips. Eating dinner at a reasonable hour, perhaps 2 to 3 hours before bed, also gives your body time to digest properly before you lie down. If you find you genuinely need a snack before bed, make it something small and balanced, like a few nuts, a small piece of cheese, or a spoonful of Greek yogurt. The key is to avoid sugar and refined carbs in that late-night snack. Thinking about how this plays out in a real day. Imagine your typical evening. Maybe you have a quick dinner, perhaps pasta with a light sauce, or just toast. Then, a couple of hours later, you feel a bit peckish, so you have a biscuit or some fruit. You go to bed, and initially, you fall asleep fine. But as the night wears on, that earlier carb-heavy meal caused a blood sugar spike, followed by insulin production. And now, several hours later, your blood sugar has plummeted. Your body, in its wisdom, thinks it needs energy, so it releases adrenaline. Suddenly, you're awake, heart pounding, and your mind is racing. By consistently choosing balanced meals, especially dinner, and being mindful of late-night snacks, you're essentially giving your body a smoother ride through the night, making those emergency wake-up calls less likely. It takes a little planning, but paying attention to how your food choices impact your energy stability can make a world of difference to your sleep continuity. This isn't just about weight or diet in the traditional sense. It's about fueling your body for restful sleep. Now that we've looked at how your body's fuel system can play a role, let's shift gears and explore another powerful factor that might be contributing to those early morning awakenings. One that lives inside your head and your nervous system. Speaking of things living inside your head and nervous system, another hugely common culprit for that 3 a.m. wake-up is stress and anxiety. You might think you're not particularly stressed, or that your worries are manageable during the day. But the silent, persistent hum of stress can wreak havoc on your sleep, especially in the latter half of the night. This is intricately linked to your body's stress response system, specifically the production of cortisol. Cortisol is often called the stress hormone, and it's essential for waking us up in the morning and helping us respond to danger. Cortisol levels naturally follow a daily rhythm. They're usually low when we go to sleep and gradually rise throughout the night, peaking in the early morning to help us wake up feeling alert. This is a perfectly normal cycle. However, when you're experiencing chronic stress, even low-level, underlying worry, your cortisol levels can become dysregulated. They might stay elevated for too long, or their natural rhythm gets disrupted. For many people, this means that as their cortisol starts its natural rise in the early morning hours, it hits a threshold that's simply too high because of the background stress, triggering a full wake-up response instead of a gentle nudge towards morning. Your mind starts racing with worries or to-do lists because the physiological state your body is in, elevated stress hormones, is incompatible with deep sleep. So, if you're consistently waking up at 3 a.m. with your mind instantly active, thinking about problems, or feeling a sense of diffuse anxiety, it's a strong signal that stress and cortisol might be the primary drivers. The challenge is that stress is often intertwined with our daily lives, and simply saying, "Don't be stressed," isn't helpful. The key is to find ways to manage your stress response, particularly as you approach bedtime. What kind of things can help establishing a calming evening routine is incredibly powerful. This isn't about adding more chores. It's about creating a transition from the busyness of the day to the restful state needed for sleep. This might include things like taking a warm bath, reading a physical book not on a screen, listening to calming music, doing some gentle stretching or yoga, or practicing simple mindfulness or meditation techniques. Even just 15 to 30 minutes dedicated to winding down can signal to your body that it's time to lower the stress level. Another practical strategy is to try and process your worries earlier in the day, or at least before your head hits the pillow. Some people find it helpful to keep a worry journal next to their bed. If you wake up with thoughts racing, instead of engaging with them in your head and letting them escalate, quickly jot them down on the paper. The simple act of writing them down can sometimes feel like you're offloading them from your mind, telling your brain, "Okay, I've captured that. I don't need to keep processing it right now." You can then tell yourself you'll revisit these thoughts during designated worry time the next day. This helps create a boundary between your waking problem-solving mind and your sleep time. Addressing the sources of stress in your life where possible is important too. But for immediate sleep improvement, focusing on managing the physiological response to stress in the evening is key. Simple breathing exercises can be incredibly effective. Even just practicing slow, deep breaths for a few minutes before bed can help calm your nervous system and lower cortisol levels. Imagine breathing in peace and calm, and breathing out tension and worry. Doing this if you wake up at 3 a.m. can also help you relax and potentially fall back asleep, rather than letting the stress hormones take over. Understanding that this early morning wakefulness might be a sign that your stress response needs a little extra care is the first step. It's not just you being unable to sleep. It's your body asking for help, managing its load. Learning to gently soothe your nervous system can make a profound difference in sleeping through the night. Now, as we continue our journey into the reasons behind those unwelcome early awakenings, let's explore something else that's happening inside you. Something that's gained a lot of attention recently and has a surprising connection to your sleep quality and patterns. Moving on from how our blood sugar and stress hormones play a role, let's talk about another fascinating area of health that is proving to be deeply connected to how well we sleep. Especially as we get older, our gut health and overall inflammation in the body. You might wonder what your digestion has to do with waking up at 3 a.m. But the connection is much stronger than you might think. Your gut is often referred to as your second brain because it has its own complex nervous system and produces many of the same neurotransmitters as your brain, including serotonin, which is a precursor to melatonin, the hormone that helps regulate your sleep-wake cycle. When your gut is unhappy, perhaps due to an imbalance of bacteria dysbiosis, inflammation, or irritation, it can send distress signals to your brain. This chronic, low-grade inflammation or gut discomfort can increase overall stress on your body, contribute to feelings of anxiety, and directly interfere with the production and regulation of those crucial sleep-related hormones. An inflamed gut can also trigger the release of inflammatory chemicals that can disrupt sleep architecture, making it harder to stay in those deeper, more restorative sleep stages and increasing the likelihood of waking up. Furthermore, digestive issues themselves, even if they don't cause conscious pain, can disrupt sleep. Things like subtle indigestion, gas, or acid reflux, which might be more pronounced when you're lying down, can pull you out of sleep or prevent you from falling back asleep easily. Eating certain foods late at night, especially heavy, fatty, or spicy foods, can overburden your digestive system just when it should be resting, leading to discomfort and wakefulness. Alcohol, while it might initially make you feel sleepy, is notorious for disrupting sleep in the latter half of the night as your body metabolizes it and experiences a rebound effect, often coinciding with that 3 a.m. window. So, how can you support your gut health and reduce inflammation to improve your sleep? It starts with what you eat throughout the day, not just at dinner. Focus on a diet rich in fiber from fruits, vegetables, legumes, and whole grains. Fiber feeds the beneficial bacteria in your gut, helping to create a healthier balance. Incorporating fermented foods like plain yogurt with live cultures, kefir, sauerkraut, or kimchi can also introduce beneficial bacteria. Hydration is important for gut function too, so make sure you're drinking enough water throughout the day. On the flip side, try to reduce foods that can fuel inflammation. Excessive sugar, refined carbohydrates, processed foods, and unhealthy fats like those found in fried foods. Pay attention to how certain foods make you feel. If something consistently causes digestive distress, it might be worth reducing or avoiding it, especially in the evening. Timing your meals is also relevant here. Giving your digestive system a break before bed by finishing your last meal or snack a couple of hours before lying down can make a big difference in preventing nighttime digestive discomfort. This isn't about a restrictive diet. It's about nourishing your body and your gut microbes in a way that supports overall health, including better sleep. Finally, let's consider some environmental and behavioral factors that, while perhaps less shocking on their own, become incredibly powerful when combined with the internal factors we've discussed. Our sleep environment plays a huge role. Is your bedroom truly dark? Even small amounts of light, like from a digital clock or light filtering through curtains, can disrupt melatonin production. Is the temperature right? Most sleep experts agree that a slightly cool room is best for sleep. Is it quiet? Unpredictable noises are more disruptive than consistent background noise. While these might not cause you to wake up at 3 a.m. initially, they can make it much harder to fall back asleep once you're awake, turning a brief arousal into prolonged wakefulness. Beyond the environment, our behavior when we wake up is critical. If you wake up at 3 a.m. and immediately grab your phone to check the time, emails, or social media, you're flooding your brain with stimulating blue light and engaging it with potentially stressful information. This instantly makes it harder to relax and fall back asleep. If you lie there and start dwelling on worries or frustratingly counting the hours of sleep you're losing, you activate that stress response we talked about, pumping out cortisol and reinforcing the wakefulness. One powerful behavioral strategy is this: if you wake up and can't fall back asleep after about 20 minutes, get out of bed, go to another room and do something quiet and relaxing in dim light. Read a book. Listen to calm music. Practice gentle breathing. The key is to break the association between your bed and wakefulness. You should only be in bed when you are sleeping or about to sleep, when you start to feel genuinely sleepy again. Return to bed. This retrains your brain to associate your bed with sleep. Rather than with frustrated wakefulness in the middle of the night, it feels counterintuitive to get out of your warm bed. But it's a proven technique for breaking the cycle of middle-of-the-night insomnia, combining attention to your blood sugar stability, stress management, gut health, sleep environment, and your response when you wake up creates a powerful, multi-pronged approach to reclaiming your sleep. It's not just one thing, it's often a combination, and tackling these areas gives you the best chance of sleeping soundly through the night. So, as we wrap up our conversation about those frustrating 3 a.m. wake-up calls, let's bring it all together. We've talked about how your body's energy management, those blood sugar levels, can trigger an alert state overnight if they dip too low, often influenced by what you ate for dinner or late snacks. We explored how the silent presence of stress and the resulting cortisol fluctuations can peak in the early morning hours, jolting you awake with a racing mind. We delved into the surprising connection between your gut health, inflammation, and sleep patterns, showing how an unhappy gut can send signals that disrupt your rest. And finally, we touched on the crucial role of your sleep environment and your own response when you wake up. How light, temperature, and immediately engaging your brain with screens or worries can cement that pattern of early morning wakefulness. The shocking answer we hinted at isn't one single magic bullet. It's the realization that this isn't just an unavoidable part of aging that you have to accept. The surprising truth is how interconnected these different parts of your health and lifestyle are, and how much influence you do have over them. The real shock might be how empowering it is to know that making consistent, relatively simple adjustments in these areas, balancing your meals to stabilize blood sugar, actively managing your stress response, nurturing your gut health, optimizing your sleep space, and changing your reaction when you wake up can actually shift this pattern. It takes patience, yes, and consistency. But it is absolutely possible to improve your sleep significantly. Remember, you deserve to sleep soundly. You deserve to wake up feeling rested and ready for the day, not exhausted before it even begins. Don't get discouraged if changes don't happen overnight. Think of this as a journey of discovery about your own body and what helps it find rest. Each small step you take, choosing a more balanced dinner, trying a few minutes of relaxation before bed, making your bedroom darker, practicing getting out of bed if you wake up, is a step towards more restful nights. These aren't difficult or complicated changes, but their impact can be profound because they address the root causes, not just the symptom of being awake at 3 a.m. It's about supporting your body's natural ability to rest and restore itself. I truly hope you found this helpful and that it gives you a new perspective and some practical tools to try. Have you experienced any of these issues? Have you found something that really works for you to sleep through the night? I'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences. Please share them in the comments section below. Your insights could help someone else reading. If you found value in this video and learned something new, please give it a thumbs up. It helps others find this information. And if you want more tips and insights on living a vibrant, healthy, and fulfilling life at any age, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. Your sleep is so important for your overall well-being, energy, and enjoyment of life. By addressing these underlying factors, you're taking a powerful step towards reclaiming your nights and making your days brighter. Here's to sleeping soundly and living your best life every single day.